Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping right into the thick of it, the Philippine basketball scene, specifically the PBA Season 49 Philippine Cup quarterfinals. Really high stakes.
Absolutely. And our focus today, drawing from this Manila Times piece from Friday, June 20th, is on two of the league's giants, San Miguel Beer and Barangay Ginebra.
Right. So our mission really is to unpack what's going on with these teams based on that article.
And these games, they're not just regular games. The article really stresses the do-or-die nature, especially for the top seeds. They've got that twice-to-beat advantage.
Yeah, the twice to be, meaning they just need one win, right? The lower seed needs two.
Exactly. One win, and they're through to the semis.
Yeah.
And it's all happening at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium in Malate, Manila. Classic venue.
Okay, so huge advantage, historic spot. You can feel the drama already. We've got like a redemption story brewing for one team and a big strategic puzzle for the other. Let's dig in.
Sounds good.
So first up, the top seed, San Miguel Beer, they're up against defending champs, Meralco Bolts. That's the 5 p.m. game. The pressure's on San Miguel right out of the gate.
Yeah, and it's interesting looking at their recent past, which the article touches on. San Miguel's wingman, CJ Perez, he made a pretty key point.
Oh yeah, what was that?
He basically said, look, even though we're the top seed, all teams have really improved this conference. So it kind of pushes back on the idea that being number one makes it a cakewalk.
That's a really good point. It suggests maybe the whole league's gotten tougher, or is it just specific teams?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, the competition's definitely heated up overall, but yeah, certain matchups are always tricky. Perez is essentially saying they can't just rely on being San Miguel.
And there's a deeper reason for their intensity, right? The article mentions Perez talking about how disappointed they were missing the playoffs last conference, the Commissioner's Cup.
He did, and he highlighted that it was, quote, the first time it happened for the winningest PBA franchise in a decade. A whole decade.
Wow, 10 years without missing the playoffs. That's dominance. So breaking that streak, that must sting. How much does that kind of history like hang over them now?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
For a team that expects to be there, missing out, even once in 10 years, it lights a fire. This game against Meralco, it's not just about winning this series.
It's about sending a message.
Exactly. It's a chance to say, that was a blip, we're back, and adding another layer, the source mentions the ghost of last season.
Right, because Meralco beat them in the finals last year, didn't they? The Philippine Cup final.
They did in 6 games. So this quarterfinal, it's a direct shot at redemption. A chance to, as the article puts it, exercise that ghost. It's more than just a game. It's like a whole narrative playing out.
Okay, so from redemption arcs, let's switch over to the second game. It's the 4th seed, Barangay Ginebra, the Gin Kings versus the 5th seed, Converge Fiber Xers. That's at 7:30 p.m. Different dynamic here.
Very different. And Coach Tim Cohn, Ginebra's coach, he immediately points to his main worry. Converge's 2 young big men. That's Justine Arana and the rookie, Justine Baltazar.
The young guns.
Yep. Cohn flat out said they're really hard to handle and match up, too. That's a lot of respect coming from a coach like Cohn.
So for a veteran coach facing relatively newer, maybe less predictable talent,
Yeah.
how does that change the prep compared to playing, say, a longtime rival?
Well, it means you can't just rely on old tapes or established patterns. You know, young players can surprise you. You have to do fresh scouting, really dig into their recent games. Cohn saying that shows he's not taking them lightly at all, despite Ginebra's experience.
And Ginebra had to fight for this spot too, right?
Dude.
They beat Rain or Shine 98-80 on the last day of eliminations to grab that number 4 seed.
They did. And they actually played Converge earlier in the season, had a pretty comfortable win, 85-66 out in Pampanga. Cohn mentioned that, saying they know them a little bit.
A little bit, but clearly not enough to relax, based on what you said about his concerns.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And this is where Cohn's mindset really shines. Despite that earlier win, despite having the twice-to-beat advantage, he said their preparation lately has been solely dedicated on Converge.
Laser focused.
Totally. He even shared his philosophy. We just prepare ourselves and try to go out and win one game, and just thinking about one game and not focus on having twice-to-beat edge. It's all about the immediate task. Respect the opponent, forget the safety net.
It really is a contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got San Miguel fueled by like avenging that rare setback, that broken streak. Then Ginebra, the established power, showing this strategic humility against rising talent, even with advantages.
Yeah, 2 different kinds of pressure, 2 different mindsets. It really highlights the psychological side of these playoff games.
You can almost feel that tension, you know,
Yeah.
thinking about what's going through the players and coaches' minds in that stadium.
Definitely. And connecting it back, both teams, despite these different situations, different seeds, different recent histories, they both get the intensity of playoff basketball. One loss can change everything. You've got the weight of the past, these new challenges popping up, and big strategic calls being made under the gun.
It really makes you think. For San Miguel, what does exercising a ghost actually look like on the court? And how much pressure is on them to protect that legacy after that decade-long run?
Huge pressure.
And then for Ginebra, how vital is it that even a legendary coach like Cohn is saying, okay, forget the advantages, we need to focus entirely on these young guys?
It shows you can never get complacent,
Right.
especially not in the playoffs.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. In any high-stakes situation, sports, work, whatever, what do you think matters more? Is it leaning on your past successes, your track record? Or is it that meticulous, almost humble preparation for the challenge right in front of you, especially when it involves something or someone new and maybe unexpected?
That's a great question to ponder. Past glory versus present focus. What wins out when everything's on the line?